All right, welcome. We are going to do a breakneck through you running your own Seder. I know it might sound somewhat intimidating or terrible being expected to be the Jewish authority and lead people on an inspiring night of redemption. Most people, tell me that you just, you read a little bit and then you start drinking the wine. Next thing you know, it's 9:30 and everybody's tired and passed out. So the goal of that is not to do that. But I'm going to officially offer a, kind of a look into how to run your own Seder and take whatever you want from it. The Seder is in Judaism an unbelievably important mitzvah. It's a very important job. You are literally supposed to be reliving your time going out of slavery. And that sounds, it sounds like slavery to have to sit there and read through the whole Haggada, so to speak. Unless you know what's going on, at which point it's fantastic. So that's kind of what we're going to try to do over here. Really the idea is the Jewish people were born Pesach night, the night of Passover, and we're going to watch as the Baal Haggada, the person that wrote the Haggada, is going to actively take us from our terrible situation and go through the path and the channels that led us to get to freedom and where we're holding today. And we're going to break it into about 5-minute segments so that it's doable. And you're welcome to just check it out at your convenience and figure out what you want to include. So the way that the Seder really begins is with the people starting. You read through the 15 stages of the Seder. That's printed in your Haggada. I will not reference page numbers because everyone probably has different ones, but most Haggadas always start with reading the 15 chapters. The 15 components of the Seder. Interestingly enough, there were 15 steps leading up to the temple, the Jewish temple in Israel. And the idea was when you got to the temple was a complex that was beyond space and time. It was a heavenly complex, so to speak, in a physical realm. And it took 15 steps to ascend to the highest levels. And the parallel is obvious that the idea is that the Seder, if done appropriately, is supposed to lead us up to those very high levels. The first thing we do, we jump right away into, is Kiddush. We make Kiddush over the first cup of wine. The first cup of wine is going to be drunk leaning, and you're supposed to drink the entire thing or most of the cup. You try to bang out at least 3.3 ounces, which really isn't that much, but you don't want to have like a huge glass because you're really supposed to drink most of the cup, and you're supposed to drink it in 1 or 2 gulps. So find yourself a special cup for that. So the idea of Kiddush, that's what it's called. The first cup is the Kiddush. The Kiddush in Judaism really means separate. And the amazing component of going from slaves to free people was that slaves didn't really have their own identity. Slaves were just a reflection of their master. And the concept of Kiddush, and just right away kicking us off with this big concept, Kiddush means in Judaism holiness, or to separate, different, distinct. Shabbat is different from the rest of the week. So we jump into the Seder by acknowledging that there's going to be something that is different that happens. Then we are going to go, the next step after Kiddush is the URCHATZ. URCHATZ is you're supposed to wash your hands before you eat the karpas. Karpas are the vegetables. Now, the head of the house, someone's supposed to bring him a cup to wash in the water, in the basin to wash into, because the idea is that nowadays it's kind of like everyone sort of does this depending on how big your Seder is. But the head of the house is supposed to be, as a free person, he's supposed to be like royalty. He doesn't make a blessing, but he washes. Now you think to yourself, why am I washing my hands? Why am I dipping vegetables? And that's actually the entire point of the Seder. This point of the Seder is to acknowledge that something different is going on. Tonight is not a night like everything else. The experience of coming out of Egypt was not just another, ending of a war or a cessation of slavery. You sign the Emancipation Proclamation, now all the slaves are free. Obviously it takes a lot of time to build up, but the Jewish people coming out of slavery was an event that was completely unique. And so we're going to do things during the Seder, the night of the Seder, to physically replicate that it's different tonight. It's going to be crazy tonight. People have all kinds of questions about what's going on. And that's the whole point, that if you're not engaged, you're not actually doing things that are different, you're not going to realize that tonight is very different. Okay, so we just washed our hands and we're about to jump into eating the karpas. The karpas is going to be vegetable, some kind of a vegetable, celery, parsley, potatoes, radish, whatever your tradition might be. So you dip that bad boy in the salt water, and then you make the bracha of Berei Pri Ha'adamah, and then you eat that. Now, the big question is, what are we doing? So the Talmud explains that's the whole point. You're supposed to ask, what are we doing? Why is this night different from all other nights? Explains there's an idea that the karpas is supposed to kind of whet our appetite for the matzah. The matzah is going to teach us a lot. And a lot of times in life, if you're not hungry, if you're not like kind of stimulated to ask questions, life's just going to fly right by. So you got to pay attention. The second thing it explains, the idea was that Joseph's coat, the Technicolor Dreamcoat, which it made into a famous musical, which we're not going to talk about tonight. The tunic he had was called the karpas, which was a tunic of fine wool. And interestingly enough, the entire Seder is kind of seen, the entire Passover experience, the Jews going down into slavery, it really got kicked off by the jealousy of the brothers. And so to kind of help us realize that these little small things we do might have very large implications later in the future. So you go ahead, you eat that vegetable, and then you take the middle matzah. You have your 3 matzahs in front of you, and then you take the middle matzah, and you do the step called yachatz. Yachatz is you break the middle matzah, and then you're going to hide which part? You hide the bigger half. So I love to talk about this very important idea. That, first of all, you might have a very uneven break. I always get like one small, crumb, and then the rest of the matzahs over here. We do hide the bigger half. The reason why we hide the bigger half is the idea is that half's going to become the afikomen, is that there are 2 major redemptions in Jewish history. And we're going to read about, tonight we're going to relive this huge redemption where God saved us from Egypt and we were free. But believe it or not, that's actually the smaller redemption. The big redemption is going to come when the Messiah comes, and that's actually going to pale. The Egyptian experience is going to pale in comparison to that. So we hide the bigger half of the matzah, not the smaller half. And the interesting thing is, the smaller half, it's like, oh man, I got this small little piece of matzah. We're actually going to start off by making the bracha on that small piece. And it's another beautiful idea that sometimes things would seem like small and sort of like, this guy got the bad end of the deal. There's a big concept that the Jewish people are kind of like seen in the world like that. We're like that thing that people thought were so small and were so insignificant. And as time goes on, we see that really Jewish people are very necessary for the survival of the world. We're not going to go into politics because we want to try to make this as short as possible. Okay, here we go. Next, we jump right into Maggid. Maggid is going to be the main part of the telling of the story of Egypt. Maggid is really there's going to be a little bit of an intro, and then it's really 4 paragraphs, and the 4 paragraphs are trek into slavery, getting into slavery, how we got out of slavery, and our coming out. So it's really not that bad. Here's the general overview. So we start off, we say that this is the bread of affliction. You hold up the matzah. Let all who are hungry come and eat. Next, I'm reading verbatim. Hopefully you'll read out of the. I don't need to be a Haggada. You can read your Haggada. I'm just going to kind of give you the background over here. So the idea is that we talk about, we start off by holding the matzah. We say, whoever is needy, let him come and celebrate the Pesach. Next year we are free. Next year may be the land of Israel. Next year, now we're slaves. Next year may we be free. So it's a very interesting question. Why are we starting off like this? Here I thought we were free. Why is it saying we're slaves now? What do you mean about Israel? Okay, so the idea is like this. What's the matzah? What does the matzah symbolize? So the matzah, we know, is when you have the wheat and the water and it comes together and it's cooked in 18 minutes and it doesn't have time to rise. So rabbis explain to us that the rising symbolizes the evil inclination, the negativity within ourselves. And the way that we got out, the way that we got out of affliction, of slavery, was that we were able to annul, to get rid of that level of the ego. We're going to stop there and pick up with the beginning of Maggid.